Hello everybody, Ian Robson, welcome back to an episode of Coffee with Ian. I actually had to go warm up my coffee because I actually cooled down. I was futzing around with my computer there. The power went out last night and I had to go through my normal routine of just checking everything, make sure everything's working properly and all that jazz, which takes a little bit of time with this computer. I suspect it's the video card, so I may have to look into a new video card. Oh, I do need to do some testing. Maybe I'll do that Sunday morning. But I'm going to go fishing this afternoon with my dad. I'm pretty excited about that. Actually, I'm going to go trout fishing. Trout season in my zone, Zone 17. Yeah, Zone 17, where I am here. It opened last weekend, actually. And I actually went out fishing last week, and I caught some creek chub, which is pretty cool, actually. They're like a smaller fish, let's just say that. You find them in creeks and whatnot around sandy areas. And actually, I was looking through my my field guide. Well, let me show it to you a bit better here. Through my Peterson's field guide. Ooh, let's get there we go. Through that, and they give some really good pointers in that book. Leo Shang from Extreme Philly Fishing, actually, he pointed me in that direction. Also, he got a sticker from Leo as well, due to the fact of being a patron, which is kind of cool. So he sent that to me a while ago, and I also got the book because of him. I don't know, I really like the way he does the YouTube things. He does it a very educational approach, so even if he's entertaining, he's still educating at the same time, which is really neat. Because, hey, I'm a teacher. Well, I was a teacher, I guess. Not anymore. I still am, kind of. I do teacher-like things. So I like the way he approaches things, is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna do that this afternoon with my dad. It's gonna be kind of interesting. Last year we tried to go fishing for trout. We didn't catch any trout last year, although we did see some. We saw some huge steelhead, but we didn't catch any in the end, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens this time around. Now, this time, my dad has been scouting out some places, and he actually found a couple of places not too far from where I am now. And he actually caught a trout just yesterday, so that's pretty exciting. So we'll see if we can replicate that when we're together. So that'll be kind of funny to see if we actually can do that or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I am generally curious about what the outcome will be, basically. So anyways, in terms of video games, I haven't really seen anything too crazy that's come out. There's a couple of humble bundles that have come out. What was the one that came out just the other day there? Let me just double check here. Something to do with humble bundle. No, not the Python one. Here's the one I'm thinking of. There is a Cryogen 2018 Cryogen humble bundle, which you get Rolling Sun, Crisis Animation Pack. You get, what's the one game I saw? Rise, Son of Rome, Sniper 2, Rise, Son of Rome, Egypt Asset Pack, Sniper 2. Did you get Sniper 3 as well? I thought so. Yeah, there's Sniper 3, Homefront: The Revolution, which is a pretty neat game actually. I don't think I played that particular one, or have I? No, I haven't played that. I played one Homefront. I think it was Homefront 2. It must have been. Back in the day, but it looks like it's a pretty neat little bundle. And what was the other one? The Capcom Sega one, which is kind of neat. So it's got Dead Rising, Crazy Taxi, which is an old one, Super Monkey Ball, which is a fun little game. This one's for PS3 though, and PS4, which is kind of neat. Resident Evil, Sonic the Hedgehog, Alien Isolation, Dead Rising 2, Valkyrie Chronicles. Don't know what that is, but... And what was the other one that seemed interesting? No, those are books. So there's a few in there that are kind of pretty neat actually, so definitely worth checking out if you like what you heard from me just mentioned there. So that's pretty cool. The last humble bundle I got was the Sony Vegas bundle, and the funny thing is I actually looked to see if I could use it with I don't know why, but Open Broadcaster software records video in FL. No, it doesn't record in FLV. I know there's a setting, but I just don't know where it is in my mind. I thought there was a setting you could change to choose what file type. No, I must be thinking of Morill's Action. But yeah, I don't see it. But I seem to remember there being an option to change which format it records in. But maybe I'm just losing my mind here. Anyways, it records in FLV, which for whatever reason is the only format that Sony Vegas doesn't recognize. I think I mentioned this last week, and I was kind of like, what, really? Out of all the possible formats. So I actually was looking at Mirrorless Action to see if it would, which is my other recording program, to see if it would be able to actually record a camera, which it can. The only difference is it can't record full screen, which kind of throws me off a little bit, unless there's an option that I'm missing or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. But I don't know if there's an option to do it or not, but I must have missed it in some scenario, so I have to take a look at it, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna have to try and figure something out, because it seems ridiculous that I would buy a program, not be able to use it with what I record with. So who would have thought, though? Maybe there's some sort of something I can install to figure it out, to it's like a plugin or something that will recognize it as a video format. But I'm just surprised it doesn't recognize it, to be honest with you. Out of all the possible formats, that's one it doesn't recognize. Because, let me just double check here. So normally when I record, what is it recorded in? There's a little bit of research. So that's the last video. I haven't recorded a video in a while. I've been streaming all the time. Yeah, it records in VLC, an FLV file, which YouTube recognizes. My other editing program recognizes, but for some reason Sony does not recognize that. There may be some reason behind that. I don't know. So anyways, in other interesting news, if you do have Mirrorless Action for recording programs and whatnot, they updated their I just noticed it today. I tried every now and then, I'll fire up Mirrorless Action and see if they have an update, and there was an update today that I noticed, so I'm going to try it out and record with it again, see how it functions, because sometimes it'll, for whatever reason, it'll be like one update will break it, one update will fix it for me, one update will break it and fix it, just for me specifically. I don't know what it is, but just due to some of the settings, I find that is what happens for me, at least. Don't know why. Don't have any idea why it's like that, but that's the way it is. So anyways, in terms of Farm Sim, I didn't get a chance to stream last weekend, on the weekend at least, but I've been streaming every morning is what I've been doing lately. I've been enjoying, so I don't feel so bad about not streaming on the weekend, but last weekend, but I still would like to do that. But it was a busy weekend last weekend. I worked last weekend, and then spent some time with my wife, and then visited my dad a little bit too, so gotta hang out. And there wasn't really, it's bizarre, because like you want to try and make time, but it's difficult at the same time trying to, like, you know, because you can't, it's weird because you have to tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to, I'll say something like, they have to work sort of idea, and they're like, oh, you thought you worked yesterday. Then like, I'll have to do YouTube stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, so that kind of work. So some people might be like, well, it's not exactly work, and I'll be like, no, it is work, you know. I still have fun doing it, don't get me wrong, but it's just the way it is. So I finally got that SSD in my other computer here, and it's fantastic. It's so much quicker. It's like, that's the computer I bought how many years ago now? 6 years ago, maybe more than 6 years, something like that, and it still runs great so far, at least. I haven't had any problem. Like, I put a new hard drive in it a long while ago. I reinstalled Windows on the new SSD that I got a while back when I picked it up from Newegg, I think it was, Newegg.ca, for like $91 for a 250 gigabyte SSD, which is fantastic. So I'm able to put Windows on there without a problem, and then it boots up like there's no tomorrow now. It's fantastic. Like before, when I booted it up, I'd walk away from the computer, come back, 5 minutes later, and then it's ready, might be ready to go. Now, I haven't put all the extra stuff on it that I normally would, because I've just been using it to, do some quick responses to YouTube and whatnot, so that's why I haven't really got too crazy with it, but it's been good. I will try to use Sony Vegas with some of the fishing videos I have recorded, or I recorded in the past. I just haven't got a chance to edit yet. They're from like last year. It's terrible. I'm pretty far behind there. So much to do in so little time, it feels like these days. It's funny, I looked at how many hours I worked last week. How many was it? 40, was it 50? Close to 50 hours last week, I think it was. Something like that. It must have been, because it's 8.5. Yeah, it must have been close to that. Let's just do the math here. Let's see. What would be 1700 minus 0800? Yeah, close to 9 hours a day almost. Let's just say it's 8.5 to be on the safe side. I just realized how much time I was spending at work. Yeah, close to 50 hours. Not quite, but close. And it's just like, when I've been working that much, because like, and then driving there and driving back to work is kind of funny because like, I'm like, wow. I'm like, you get home, like you eat dinner and like, okay, like I'm ready for bed because I'm up at 5 a.m. right now. And I do, I work out in the morning. I do the YouTube stuff in the morning. It seems bizarre. So anyways, but, so I mentioned about doing a chainsaw video, and I definitely will do that. I just had to pay my taxes first, basically, to be honest with you, and then we'll see what happens. And I'm planning to buy a fishing kayak in the near future as well, so got to plan my adjust my budget accordingly, sort of thing. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, I think the one I'll definitely go for is an MS261CM, which is a professional saw. So I'll make a couple videos about doing that. If you have any suggestions for what type of videos I should do with that, let me know in the comments below. I'll be curious to see what suggestions you guys have. Anyways, I just realized the time. My name's Ian Robson. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Coffee with Ian. As you can see, I've had 2 cups of coffee, so I'm talking really quickly. If you like what I want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, enjoy the coffee.